And the abortion pill, mifepristone, will remain on the market for now after a Supreme Court ruling late Friday. The High Court granted a full stay in a case concerning the FDA's approval of the widely used drug. The ruling freezes a lower court ruling that would have restricted access to the pill. Senior national policy reporter Ann Flaherty and ABC News Supreme Court contributor Kate Shaw join me now for more on this. Thank you both for being here. And walk me through this decision and what it does for access to this abortion pill.
So as you mentioned, Diane, these lower court rulings are now on hold. The Supreme Court issuing that stay late on Friday. That means that it's the status quo in the market. It means that the drug mifepristone is available to women up to 10 weeks. It can be provided via telehealth and the mail. Those are existing FDA rules that have been in place since about 2016. The FDA says this drug is safe enough that a person doesn't need to see a doctor in person, that they can do that over a telehealth appointment. Now, that's what this lawsuit was trying to fight. They were trying to overturn or suspend FDA's approval of this drug entirely, but also to roll back those rules that made it easier to get. So now we head to the Fifth Circuit. There's a hearing scheduled May 17th. And, you know, I've spoken with both sides on this. They say that basically the bottom line here is that this drug, the access is here for now, but it's still in jeopardy. The fight is going to continue for several months now.
Now, Kate, Justice Clarence Thomas and Justice Samuel Alito both publicly dissented in this decision. What did you make of their arguments?
Well, Diane, we actually don't know what Justice Thomas thought about this stay application because he did, as you said, note his dissent, but he didn't write anything explaining. Justice Alito wrote just for himself, basically taking strong issue with the majority's decision to grant a stay. Justice Alito is the author of the Dobbs opinion and, you know, did not seem to be troubled in any way by the lower court rulings that drew a lot of criticism across the ideological spectrum that had basically blocked access to mifepristone. Justice Alito basically said it wouldn't cause undue hardship for the lower court order, in particular the appeals court order, to remain in effect, limiting but not totally eliminating access to mifepristone. He also suggested there was some chance the Biden administration wouldn't even abide by the lower court orders, so it wasn't much of a problem to leave them in effect. It seemed to throw a lot of arguments at the wall, but the bottom line is Justice Alito was very unhappy with his colleague's decision to grant the stay.
Now, Ann, as this is all happening in a case in West Virginia, a different question is being raised about this abortion pill. So what are you watching for there?
So there's an interesting case out of West Virginia, Diane, that's Gen Biopro, which makes the generic version of mifepristone. They've sued West Virginia to say that their laws prohibiting the distribution of the drug mifepristone violates interstate commerce. There's a commerce clause in the Constitution. So a very different case than what we've heard on Dobbs, which ended up being a states' rights question on abortion access. And then, of course, this latest discussion about whether or not the FDA followed the law when it approved this access to this drug. This is about whether or not a company can sell a product that's been approved by the government across state lines, essentially. So, you know, a really interesting case here. That's moving forward. We expect a hearing later today on that.
Kate, what are the next steps in all of these cases?
Well, maybe to take mifepristone, Diane. So we know, as Ann said, there's a hearing on May 17th in the Texas Appeals Court. But, you know, the legal process involving, you know, rulings on the challenge to mifepristone will proceed. They will proceed against a backdrop of mifepristone remaining on the market and available. But the stay will be in effect until the Supreme Court rules on the question. That could be next fall. It could be next spring. And if we're talking about next spring, we're well into a presidential election cycle. And I have to imagine that's going to be on the justices' minds, seeing the political ramifications of their decision just last June in the Dobbs case overturning Roe versus Wade.
All right. Ann Flaherty, Kate Shaw, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.